I knew I had the power in me, and I knew they were underestimating my power as well. And he kept talking about knockout, knockout. He was really underestimating how strong I was. So, that's what happened.
Talking about how strong you were in the third round, I think he hit you with a clean right, but you walked through that and put him down. Did you feel that punch at any point, or was there no effect of that punch?
Man, he did have power. You know what I mean? It was there, but nothing really landed. Anything solid. So, we just I kept moving. Nothing, like I moved with the punch. You know what I mean? I was sliding him, so it was all good.
At what point did you know that you could walk through his punches? Because it seemed very early on in the fight that you just walked him down.
It wasn't so much I could walk through his punches. I just knew once I heard him, he was being a bit hesitant, so I could sort of, you know what I mean, get him closer without having to set something up. But he's always dangerous. He's such a big dude. You know what I mean? I don't know how much he weighed in the ring right then, but he was over 100 kilos easy, bro. Like he was a big guy, but it's finding that distance too. Like I said in a previous, having the range and finding it are two different things. So I took his range away from him. I was making him reach. That's what I do. It's not about who hits the hardest. It's a science, this sport, and I feel like that's where I create distance there, is because this is what I do.
Eddie, what's next? We saw Bradus ringside, and we also see Chris Smith looking to pull Chris out as well.
Yeah, I mean, listen, as champion, you have mandatories, and we know that because of Jai's time out of the ring, he does have a mandatory. But also, we want unifications. There is a strong chance the IBF are going to enforce that fight. If they do, we look to get that fight made, and we do it in Australia, and he goes out and beats him again. But obviously, in every fighter's mind, they want to win every belt. I don't see, with all due respect to Chris Smith, with all due respect to Gula Marin, whether it's Badu Jack still has the belt, I don't see anyone beating him. But I think, listen, we've been looking to make a play with a big name from Australia. And I said tonight in the ring, Tim Tsz유's a great fighter, by the way, and I'm not taking anything away from him. But he beat the best in the division. And he took the belt, and he took the #1 spot with a Ring Magazine belt. And I think he's going to go and win all the belts. So this guy should be a big star in Australia, and we're going to push to make that happen. But I think activity is also key. He's been out of the ring for a long time. Don't forget, Masternak shit himself. Richard Riakporhe, I won't say the same because I like him, but he also went to the toilet. And, Jordan Thompson stepped up. So respect to him. But again, his team was shouting out levels, and that's what you saw tonight. But you'd see levels against all those other guys as well. Chris Smith, Chris Smith's a really good fighter. We've worked with him for a long time. But talking about a guy who's done well to win a world title against an elite, I think a pound for pound fighter in Jai Opetaia.
How excited are you having fights like him, who has probably one of the most exciting styles in boxing?
Yeah, because you know what it is, as a promoter, more likely as a fan. Do you know how exciting it is to have a fighter that you think can beat everybody? So I know he'll fight all those guys. So all we've got to do is make it happen. But it's great sitting there in a big fight going, I've got the favourite. And he's a favourite against all those guys. And I don't think he's even touched the surface yet. We've only really met this week properly. But I think he's going to come out of himself. I think he's going to become a star. He's a good, honest guy that people can respect. He's an ambassador for the sport. But I think he's going to start puffing that chest out, but believing in himself even more. And he's a dangerous dude.
Eddie, Chevron Clark had a good week today, another cruiserweight that you managed. How long do you think him in the world?
Yeah, look, Chev's in the top 15, but he's just had 7 fights. And we saw tonight a guy who's had 15 fights. Vasil Duka's a good test, but as we saw from Jordan, it's too much of a gap between Vasil Duka and Jai Opetaia. So Chev needs to bridge that gap, give him 4, 5, 6 fights. Who knows? Britain would love to see him back. Maybe in time he fights another Brit. He can do it. He can do it all. And we'd like to take him to America as well. So a lot of these Australian fighters want to fight internationally. He's got the opportunity to do it. He did it tonight.
And what next for Jordan Thompson?
I think he should move to heavyweight. I said to him in the change room after, I went, no more cruiserweight from you. Sometimes you think that's an attribute, the size, and it is, but also it can be detrimental, if you're bringing yourself down in weight. Everyone was looking at the pictures at the weigh-in, and the casual fan would go, oh, there's no way Jai Opetaia can win this fight. And who was the stronger guy? Who was the guy that was backing the other guy up? So I think Jordan will move to heavyweight.
Jai, you talked in the ring about this felt like it was Jordan Thompson's night. The ring was small.
That was a standard ring, by the way. For our shows. No, it wasn't. It wasn't a big ring, but it was a standard ring.
But I did, man. Even at all the press conference, every fighter on the press, I felt like I was there against them all. But it's all fuel on the fire. I love it. You know what I mean? I'm here to earn respect, and that's what I did. You know, they were all backing Jordan Thompson. They were all saying he was going to win, and they all believed in him. And I took that away. And I don't mean this disrespect to me, but this is what I do. You know what I mean? I wanted this platform. I needed to come here and show you. You know what I mean? And you know, Eddie Hearn saying we want to go to America. That's not what I want. I want to have big fights in Australia. I want to fight in Gosford Stadium, my hometown. I want to rep my home.
Is that rematch against Greatest the one you want next?
Man, I'll fight anyone next. You know what I mean? Like Eddie said, if the IBF demand it, we have to do it. But I would love to fight for the WBO next.
Did you make that fight in Australia?
Which one?
Greatest rematch?
Yeah, for sure. Like, you shouldn't have to travel anywhere anymore. Like tonight, he did it in a voluntary. But Bradis is a tough fight. I mean, he knows that because he had the fight first time. But you know, if we have to do that fight, we'll speak to the representatives and Tasman fighters and everybody in Australia to make that fight in Australia.